Following the end of the First World War, the Treaty of Versailles forced a defeated Germany to shoulder a crushing, nearly impossible financial burden. It is one of the most famous punitive measures in modern history. But Germany did not fight the war alone. The German military fought alongside a massive alliance network that included Austria-Hungary, Bulgaria, and the Ottoman Empire. During the Paris Peace Conference, the victorious Entente powers set up a massive bureaucratic machine to draft 5 separate treaties. The goal was to extract wealth and impose formal blame on every single defeated nation. So if the victorious powers spent months drafting separate legal frameworks to punish all of their enemies, why was Germany the only one left holding the massive final bill? The Entente's grand collection plans completely derailed almost as soon as they were signed. The victors quickly discovered a harsh economic reality. You cannot extract vast sums of wealth from empires that no longer exist, have gone entirely bankrupt, or simply decide to shoot back. The immediate problem the Entente faced in Austro-Hungarian territory was a total jurisdictional nightmare. Unlike Germany, the dual monarchy had completely disintegrated into competing factions as the war ended, leaving the debt collectors with no central authority to bill. The newly recognized state of Austria was stripped of its former territory and explicitly forbidden from sharing resources by uniting with Germany. It was left completely bankrupt. 1 out of every 3 Austrians was now trapped in a starving capital city, totally severed from the agricultural infrastructure needed to feed them. Hungary was in an even worse position. The state lost 70% of its land and plunged directly into a violent cycle of communist revolutions and royalist countercoups. Meanwhile, the massive industrial wealth that actually fueled the Habsburg war machine, like these sprawling Skoda factories, ended up within the borders of newly independent successor states like Czechoslovakia. The Entente couldn't exactly punish these new nations after granting them their freedom. While the Entente officially demanded reparations to be determined at a later date, they quietly accepted the truth. Trying to extract hard currency from the starving Austrian remnant or the chaotic Hungarian state was an economic impossibility. Further south, Bulgaria survived the war as an intact state, but faced a different type of punishment: restitution in kind. Instead of unpayable financial sums, the Entente forced Bulgaria to absorb a tiny fraction of the debt alongside direct, mandatory shipments of physical assets, like raw goods, cattle, and coal to its neighbors. The constant extraction of these physical resources rapidly drained the already fragile, unstable post-war Bulgarian economy. You cannot squeeze blood from a stone. To prevent the Bulgarian state from totally collapsing into radicalized factions, the Entente was forced to end the physical extractions and cancel the debt altogether. That left the Ottoman Empire. Its economy was so thoroughly shattered by the loss of its imperial holdings that the Entente realized they would actually have to loan money to Istanbul just to keep the state functioning. Demanding cash reparations in this region was a logical absurdity. Britain and France had already carved out the Ottoman economy into their own zones of influence, meaning that collecting a debt would effectively require them to pay themselves. The ultimate deal-breaker arrived when a rival government formed in Ankara. They fiercely refused to ratify the Entente's punishing treaties. Led by Mustafa Kemal, Turkish nationalists rallied to take back their sovereignty by force. In the ensuing military campaigns, the nationalists successfully defeated French, Armenian, and Greek forces. They exhausted the Entente's political will and forced them back to the negotiating table. In the resulting 1923 Treaty of Lausanne, the Entente formally recognized the new Turkish state and legally agreed they were a blameless party in World War I. While the other Central Powers avoided their debts through total collapse or bankruptcy, Turkey actively fought its way out, rendering any notion of financial reparations completely dead. Between the shattered empires, starving civilian populations, canceled resource shipments, and successful armed rebellions, the victors' collection ledgers were left completely empty. When the vague, later date finally arrived to calculate the definitive financial bill for the war, there was only one viable target left on the map. Despite the trauma of military defeat, Germany's physical reality was highly cohesive. Its borders, civilian infrastructure, and daily life remained remarkably functional compared to its former allies. Its legal continuity was unbroken. Though it was now operating as a republic with new leaders, its core institutions were intact, and its official state name was still recognized internationally as the German Empire. This made it incredibly easy to assign inherited blame. Germany was forced to bear the weight of the war's cost alone. While its allies collapsed, went bankrupt, or fought back, Germany remained a functioning nation, and in the eyes of its creditors, that was the ultimate post-war sin.